Have you ever gone to a stylist, sit down, talk to him about what you wanted, you guys decided on what you're gonna do, you're jacked about what's gonna happen, then everything gets done and you look in the mirror and you're like, hold on, what? Oh, wait a minute. Of course, when I said trim, I definitely meant 6 inches off. Of course, when I said warm, I meant orange. Duh. Today, I'm gonna walk you through everything that your stylist needs to know so that you can decipher this foreign language that is talking to a hairstylist. And we're gonna start that right now. My name is Justin Hickox. If you're new to the channel, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you visiting. I like to share tips and tricks, things I've learned over my 25 years of doing hair to ultimately make your hair a little easier for you. So if your goal is to love your hair, you're gonna wanna make sure right now and hit that subscribe button, the one right over there, and the notification bell so that you get notified every Tuesday when I bring out a brand new video. So do that right now. Okay, cool. Thumbs up. Today, we are talking about the language that is hairdressing. How to explain what you want to your stylist, the information they need to know from you so that they can give you what you want. So I'm gonna break all of this information down for you. I'm gonna talk about a lot of different stuff. None of it is more important or less important than the next, so make sure that you don't miss any of it. But I also know that there's a lot of information, so I've done something for you. I actually put a link in the description below. I created a checklist so that you can know that when you go into the salon, you have all the things necessary to have an effective consultation with the stylist so they know and you know you're on the same page. So if you want that free download, go ahead and click on the little link below and it'll make sure that you get that. What I've done today is I'm separating this into 3 different categories. We're gonna talk about maintenance, we're gonna talk about boundaries, and we're gonna talk about desired results. So let's dive into maintenance. Okay, when it comes to maintenance, we need to know, what do you do on a day-to-day basis? How often every week are you shampooing your hair? What shampoo and conditioner are you using and why? Step by step, when you get out of the shower, what do you do to style your hair? What kind of brushes or hot tools are you using and why are you using those? These are all things that we need to know because it's gonna give us an understanding of more than just what you're doing, but also more importantly, why you're doing it. We need to understand, for instance, what shampoo and conditioner you're using because that can play a role in the texture of your hair right now. If we don't know that the shampoo you're using is building up on your hair and that's why you're feeling like your hair is greasy and maybe you're not getting enough volume in your hair, what shampoo you're using can affect all of those things. So we may tell you to do something totally different with the cut because you want more volume, when in reality, we're really not addressing the problem. At that point, we're just addressing a symptom that's still going to be there causing more problems. It lets us know what you've tried, what didn't work, what did work. It gives us some insight to why you're using what you're using and what your desired result is from that product. Knowing how you style your hair step by step. I get out of the shower and towel blot my hair, then I let it sit for 20 minutes while I do my makeup, then I put in product, right? All of these things tell us what you're doing to your hair so we understand how much time you're willing to spend on it. If we don't know this information, we might agree to a style that you want that requires far more time and effort than you're wanting, or maybe that you even have time to put in currently. We could put you in a style that you might like when you leave the salon, but might frustrate you heavily when you get home because it doesn't style the way that it did in the salon. It's all about true day-to-day maintenance so that collectively we can determine a style that's going to function for you on a day-to-day basis as well as look good on you. At the end of this video, I'm also gonna walk you through some things that you should not do in a consultation. Absolute nuts. So make sure that you stick around for that because that's probably one of the most important parts of this whole video. When it comes to boundaries, we need to know what your concerns are. What are your biggest concerns with your hair right now? We need to know, what have you done in the past that you loved? Or what have you done in the past that you hated? What didn't work? What did work? What's too short? What's too long? If you're talking about color, we need to know what's too light, what's too dark, what is too gold, what's too ashy or too cool. We just need to understand what those boundaries are. Let's say your hair is brown and you want to add some blonde highlights to it. One big thing that we have to understand is there's a difference between things being a color being too light and having too much of that too light color. You say something like, I feel like I'm too light. Well, that can on one hand to one stylist mean, well, that means that her blonde is too bright. She wants a darker level of a blonde. When in reality, what you might be saying is, I like the tone, I just have too much of the blonde in my hair versus the dark that I have in my hair. It's just another reference point for us to understand how much overall of this color we should be putting in your hair. Then if we get the right color, we're not adding too much of that right color and making you still overall feel like you are too bright. But most importantly, knowing what your boundaries are, that by itself is gonna solve a lot of the overall concerns that happen in a consultation. What about desired results? Like, what about what you actually want to have happen? Well, that's a great question, so come with me. There's actually a few things that your stylist needs to know about what you want so that you guys can make sure that you're on the same page. And probably the best way to do this, I'll put you right here, the best way to do this is actually through photographs. And I know a lot of people are thinking, okay, well, what if I don't know what I want? What if I can't find a photograph that actually shows really what the style that I want? When I say taking photographs, what I mean is find photographs of things that you like, things that you don't like. For instance, maybe you like the length on one cut, or maybe you like the bangs on another cut. This haircut right here is too short for me. This has too many layers. This isn't layered enough. I don't like how long the bangs are on this, but I do like this, especially when it comes to color. This is too blonde. This is too dark. This is too cool. This is too brassy. Your blonde may be their brassy blonde, right? Or whatever it is. You might say one thing, see something as ashy, they might not see it as ashy. But if you have a direct reference as to what you feel is ashy, what you feel is too dark, what you feel is too short or too long or whatever, then you and your stylist can come together, put all of those things together, along with the other information that you've given them. Now we know where to start. Now we know of direction to head in. And now we're on the same page as to what's gonna work and what's not gonna work. Then together you guys can determine what style or shape is gonna make sense. Okay. Now let's talk about some things you should never do in a consultation, especially with a new stylist, meaning that you are just meeting them for your first time. Never go in and say, do whatever you want, I don't care. Or if you could do anything, what would you do? There's two reasons for this. If you tell somebody do whatever they want, you don't care, that's never true. At the end of the day, you do care. We all care, because what if they shaved you bald? You do care, and that's okay. You should care. It's your hair. We just need to make sure that we're all on the same page. Now, on top of that, saying if you could do anything, what would you do? The reason I actually don't like this question myself is because it's so limiting to you as a client. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna tell you, well, I think we should do this, 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 and that. And in your mind, subconsciously, you're gonna believe, well, if he could do anything, this is what he could do. This must mean that this is what would look best on me. This is the style that's gonna make sense for me. And that's just not true. There are a lot of things that you can do based on different lengths that you might like, based on different styles that you think are great. What works for you today may not function for you in 10 years, in 5 years, or even in a couple of months. Next thing you should never do is come in with no ideas whatsoever. You don't have to be steadfast in exactly what you want, but you should have some ideas, like we talked about earlier, as to things that you don't like, things that you like, a rough idea of maybe a direction you want to head. Maybe you're trying to grow your hair out. Maybe you're trying to keep it short. Maybe your main focus is on trying to create volume, whatever that is, but a base roadmap just so that you and the stylist have a direction to travel in. Do not talk in broad terms. Don't say words like inches. Your inch could be this, a stylist's inch could be this. Don't use things like, I want to go lighter. Well, what is lighter? Make sure that you follow up anything that you say with what. Never leave anything up to translation if you want to make sure that you and the stylist are on that same page. Then you also want to make sure that you're not totally closed-minded to anything. I have a lot of clients that come in that have had bad layering in the past, and unfortunately, that layering didn't work out for them. So their natural inclination is to get very concerned about doing layers, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, I can't have layers because layers don't work. When in reality, everything that they want needs layering to be effective for them. But if you're totally closed off, just understand that you may be putting yourself in a situation where what you want and what you can achieve are totally separate because what you need to do to achieve that, you're not willing to do. But many times what will happen is a stylist will stand back because they're like, okay, well, I don't want to upset you. I want to make you happy. So I'm not even going to bother trying to explain that to you. I'm just going to do what you want. And ultimately what that does is leave you ending up unhappy. What I recommend is being very upfront about why it didn't work. What did you not like about it? Is there a way that that could be done differently to be effective? Now, make sure you go to the description below and click on that link, download the free checklist that I have so that you don't forget all of this information. Because again, I know it's a lot. Don't forget, hit that button, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you hit that notification bell so that you get notified every Tuesday. You guys, I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. We will see you in the next video. Bye.